Before we start, I just want to acknowledge that I'm still at my brother's place and will be for this video and the next video. Now back to the regularly scheduled chicanery. Ruiner is a game by Swedish developer Reikon Games that I played back when it was on Game Pass 3 years ago. After playing the opening, I thought, this is cool, I should come back to this, and proceeded to never get back to it. Until recently, when I realized it was just sitting there in my Epic Games library, because that launcher has a habit of giving things away like they were Oprah giving people cars. So I figured, what the hey, let's give this game another go. And I'm happy to report that Ruiner is a good video game. A bit on the samey side, sure, but we'll get there when we get there. Before I can get things properly started, I just have to say that this game is red. Like, so red that you'd assume that when looking at the footage, you'd think that the color correction was off kinda red. Do not adjust your displays, kids. This video was recorded and edited in my normal production settings, and even I got thrown off for a bit because of the amount of red light that this game uses. But no, it's an aesthetic choice. It's trying to be evocative of cyberpunk stuff like Ghost in the Shell or Akira, and while it doesn't go as far in the direction as either of those goes in terms of narrative and theming from what I've seen so far, it also does a decent enough job, and that's fine. It's fine. What is the story? You play as a nameless mercenary who literally gets his brain hacked by some asshole who wants you to kill the boss of the local megacorp Heaven because he knows you want to help your brother. This leads to the weirdly catchy kill boss objective popping up at intervals of traveling and killing dudes. And this is just the prologue. From there, you get your brain hacked again by a mysterious lady hacker who informs you that she can help you find your brother, and from there, we're finally after the races. The story does, interestingly enough, point out that even with advances in technology, man's cruelty to man is definitely a thing that would still exist in the future, especially in the dystopian future of 2091 that Ruiner is set in. So, there's at least this idea that it takes in some interesting directions even from the start. So, good on you, Ruiner. That's actually pretty freaking neat. From here, Ruiner drops you into a small district of Reikon that serves as the game's hub for each of its 14 or so missions. You can talk to non-playable characters, take jobs for extra karma, which is the game's currency, and move the story along. It's a vibrant and lively place that does a lot to illustrate the more human sides of the setting quite nicely. It ultimately does what a hub area is supposed to do in my mind, which is provide the player with a much-needed safe haven to catch their breath. And trust me, you need it. And this now brings us to the actual gameplay of Ruiner. It's an isometric twin-stick shooter, and that's the simple version of it. The less simple version of it is that it's a twin-stick shooter that tries its damnedest to present a challenge to the player, and I'm not sure that it works all the way. The main reason for this is that when I was going through the missions for note-taking and video capture, I was going through it on the normal difficulty, and it's been kind of on the easy side. At least the first half. The second half tries to put up more of a fight, but it's still a bit too easy for my liking. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The main mechanics of combat are split between a trinity of melee combat, ranged combat, and supplementary abilities. You start off Ruiner with an auto pistol and a lead pipe. After that, the game teaches you how dashing works and targeted variations therein, which is incredibly useful if I might add. Then you learn about abilities that range from an energy shield to an EMP grenade to an actual frag grenade to less kill-oriented options like a reflex booster that slows down time and a health converter that, well, converts your energy into health. These and other things that you get can be toggled on and off from the upgrades menu, and the game expects and encourages you to swap out abilities for the situations you consider best. It's a flexible system, and I really like what it has on display, but I don't think the game's challenge warrants it most of the time. And I think that's the game's biggest weakness from a mechanics perspective. It does a lot of stuff that is super cool on paper that the base difficulty makes incredibly difficult to incentivize the use of. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter too much because when you put all of that stuff together gameplay-wise, it looks so goddamn cool. Seriously, it looks so goddamn cool with the dashing and the lead piping and the bang bang, pew pew, zap zap. And I'm sorry that I just sent it into goblin mode there, because I'm an absolute mark for stuff like this. There is also supplementary stuff in gameplay, like drones that drop health and energy, and grinder droids that eat all the unused weapons on the floor to spit out extra karma and possibly give up better rarity weapons. Oh, one last thing. Weapons have limited ammo, so they need to be swapped out constantly if you're burning through them, or just have an itchy trigger finger and bad aim like I do. Interestingly enough, your starting pistol isn't the same weak-ass starting option that you usually ignore in favor of something better, and it can actually put in work, so Yay, thank you, Reikon, for actually remembering that the pistol is a weapon that can be used. Now, is Ruiner a bit on the easy side? Yes. But is it also one of the coolest looking games I've played in a while? You're goddamn right it is. While I wish that the narrative was a bit more willing to dive into the themes that it initially presents, there's enough there to go along with the gameplay and the style on display to at least lend it some kind of substance as opposed to nothing at all. I recommend it, but wait for a sale. Oh, I also forgot to mention the majority of the game's challenge was in the arena mode. I am a clown for forgetting it, and go there if you want the game to actually put up a fight. And that would be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like it if you did. Don't forget to also share it if you really liked it. And also don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.